table of contents, super scary. Everyone is really worried about table of contents. I have made a table of contents in Word before. Not for a long time, so we're going to still be learning together. But it's not as terrifying as people think. I think the main problem people run into with a table of contents is that they are not using all of their headers, and that means the table of contents has no idea what's going on. We need to communicate what our sections are and what their priorities are to the program so that the table of contents can be built appropriately. All right, so we're going on to phase 2 in our guide, and we're going to do the table of contents. So we've got our blank page here, and I'm going to type table, whoops, on our blank page, please. There we go. Ah, I see what I did. Classic mistake. I accidentally deleted our extra page. So I'm going to enter blank page. Now we have our blank page back in between here. So table of contents. Why is this demanding to be on the next page? I'm just going to insert a page break after table of contents. That's going to solve that problem. Not sure what's going on there. And we're not going to take the time to solve that because this is a quick portfolio project. So I've got table of contents. I'm going to apply title style to this and put a little space in here. Also going to correct my capitalization. So on here, we're going to go up into references. And in references is where we're going to find the table of contents. So over here is the table of contents button. And Claude is suggesting automatic table 2. Let's see how that looks. Looks great. Looks like I don't need to actually have my own heading here. So delete that. Make sure that my table of contents, is actually the first thing on the page. And then as you can see, we already are starting to have that nested style. We have appetizers, we have artichoke dip, we have the ingredients and instructions for the artichoke dip. I think that we probably don't want the ingredients and instructions to show up on separate listings here. So I'm actually going to go in and I am going to get rid of heading 3. So down here it says show levels, and I'm going to guess if I take that to 2 instead of 3 that it's going to stop at the name of the recipe. Let's find out. Oops. Replace this table of contents? You betcha. And there we have it. Appetizers, starting with spinach artichoke dip. We do not need a separate page listing for the ingredients and the instructions. All right, so we've got our table of contents in, and what we're going to do is actually go and make a change and make sure that this is updating appropriately. So instead of appetizers, let's say I want to have an appetizers and snacks section. So we're going to go on up. Oh no, it only says appetizers. This is where some of my doctoral classmates lose their shit because the table of contents is not obeying the rules. So we're just going to click into this, and if you click into it, you can actually just go straight here to the update table button, and I'm going to click that. Doop. Let's see, update entire table, because I didn't just change the page numbers, I changed the titles. Let's find out. Would you look at that? Appetizers and snacks, fully updated. All right. So we have a little troubleshooting section for this in the guide, but at this point we don't need it. It's working well. So now we have an automatic self-updating table of contents that is using our style system to inform itself of what is going on in our larger document. All right. So next up in phase 2 is task 2.2. And what we're going to do on this one is start doing section breaks with mixed page orientation. So this way we can have portrait pages for our recipes and landscape pages for conversion tables. Now, would I actually want this in my personal recipe book? Not sure. However, this is going to be a really impressive feature when someone starts to go through the book and sees mixed orientations. That's something that most people do not know how to accomplish, and it leads to some really wonky, kludged together solutions. So we're going to try and make this elegant, and we're going to try and make this as easy to build as possible. So we are going to go back down to our little appetizer and snack test. I'm going to hit 2 returns so that I get out of our little recipe step, and I am going to insert a page break. And we're going to go back to our heading number 1, and we're going to call this main dishes. Let's see. And we're just going to go on down into heading number 2, and I'm just going to say, let's see, I'm having beef stroganoff for dinner tonight. Sounds really good. And then what if we also wanted to have spaghetti? Now, it's not assuming that I am adding multiple recipes at once. So instead, I'm going to go in and correct it. Hey, yeah, I needed that to be a recipe. There we go. All right, so that's enough for us. We can actually go back and double check our table of contents again. Update table, update entire table, and there we go. There are our main dishes. And then after the main dishes, we are actually going to insert a section break, not a page